while I was there, it seemed like, an eternity, but looking back, it's really just a couple seconds of a short video clip.
Time magazine proclaims 2011 the year of the protester as the Occupy Wall Street movement inspires dozens of similar protests nationwide.
We are 99%!
From major cities to college campuses, Americans rally by the thousands to make their voices heard. And at the University of California at Davis, just outside of Sacramento, students stage an Occupy movement of their own against a proposed tuition hike. Stephen McCone is a sophomore at the university and an aspiring videographer at Aggie TV, the UC Davis's student-run TV station.
I would say the general reaction is sort of pretty upset that tuition is still going up, and people are of course, angered by that.
What begins as a week-long peaceful exchange during the third week of November 2011 escalates into a global spectacle. On Thursday, November 17th, a few dozen students pitch tents a la Occupy Wall Street and stay overnight on the campus quad. The following morning, campus police repeatedly warn them to break down their encampments.
You've been advised that your actions constitute a violation of law. You have been given several opportunities to voluntarily cease your actions and leave this area.
That afternoon, campus cops decide to take action.
Around 3 p.m., we're all up there sort of waiting in anticipation for how they're going to handle this. And the word sort of spreads around that there's 50 or so riot police that are approaching the campus. They were told that they had to leave by the police, who then started to sort of advance.
Whoa! How does it feel?
Those who don't comply with the police order are arrested and detained on the spot, 10 people in all.
The only resistance they were met with was people who just went limp. No one was sort of resisting arrest or doing anything to fight them, except just going on the ground and going limp.
You're supposed to be protecting us!
The crowd was sort of chanting for them to let them go and to try and get them to release them.
Set them free! Set them free!
As the protesters chant, they march toward the police and the arrested individuals who lie face down on the ground, eventually surrounding the police, making demands of their own.
If you let them go, we will let you leave! We will let you leave!
Looking around, you couldn't tell who was really part of the protest and who was really just there, sort of to see it as the spectacle.
The police then give the sitting protesters a warning about what will happen if the students continue to block their way.
John Pike, the lieutenant who ends up giving the order later, actually warns each student and says, if you don't move, you're going to be pepper sprayed.
You're shooting us for sitting here. No, that's fine, that's fine.
True to his word, Lieutenant Pike sprays the sidewalk blocking students for roughly 15 seconds as onlookers shriek and scream out for the officer to stop.
You don't really expect that after a peaceful crowd forms, that they'll be met with that kind of force or that kind of action. I was really shocked and pretty angry, really, about sort of how they handled that.
Stephen is not alone in his feelings.
The use of force by the police was unwarranted, particularly given that this was a non-violent, peaceful protest.
These are not the rights that could just be trampled on, especially not by people who are supposed to be protecting them.
Definitely a feeling in the air that's turned their anger more towards the police, I think. That's pretty angry at what's just happened.
According to the University of California's police policies and administrative procedures, chemical agents are used to minimize the potential for injury to officers, offenders, or to other persons. They should only be used in situations where such force reasonably appears justified and necessary. 9 students doused in the spray are treated at the scene. 2 more are taken to a nearby hospital and later released. But before the dust even settles, the footage is already out on the web.
At the time, we just figured that, maybe more people on campus would be watching this, or maybe people locally or in Sacramento, but no idea that people around the world would be viewing this in the next few days.
An ugly incident on the campus of the University of California, Davis is drawing outrage nationwide.
The next day, University Chancellor Linda Katehi expresses her own personal remorse over the incident.
I'm here to apologize.
Lieutenant Pike and another police officer involved in the spraying are placed on paid administrative leave. 19 students and alumni involved in the spraying filed a lawsuit against UC Davis, claiming the university used excessive force to break up the demonstration. In April 2012, an independent task force concludes that the pepper spraying incident should and could have been prevented. UC Davis Police Chief Annette Spicuzza has since resigned.
I think the pepper spray incident will definitely have an effect on how police interact with students and how they deal with similar issues in the future.